towards doing an IPO, and their investors said, no, we don't want to wait around for that. We're going to sell you to Amazon. And the management of the company was not very happy. They wanted to build and grow a self-sufficient company, and instead they were prettied up and sold to Amazon. So what the kinds of things that we think are not good here, they're appearing that Silicon Valley is adopting the same not good practices.
I didn't know Zappos was owned by Amazon.
There's also a lot of difference between old think and new think. One of the things that is my pet peeve is this waterfall versus agile development environment. I've been working in innovative projects my entire career, and I always have used development methodology that was more agile, that would now be called agile, rather than some traditional development methodology. And I think that we get hung up in development methodologies. There's much more of an orientation in this area to use a traditional waterfall development methodology than to use some of the agile methodologies. One of the things that has occurred recently is that now agile has actually become more popular worldwide than waterfall. And I haven't been able to figure out what the relationship in Massachusetts is. Also, there's somewhat of an old-going network as opposed to a social network that exists in different environments. Again, I think that Silicon Valley is getting its own set of old-going networks that are establishing, so they may be losing some of their luster. And there's much more of a meritocracy I see in a technical environment. Engineers want to collaborate. They want to treat each other based on what they can do, what they can accomplish, what they know, as opposed to who they know and where they are in some kind of a hierarchical structure. And another key is whether people celebrate technology. I think I didn't think this was a problem at the time, but I kind of look back at this. The fact that the Computer Museum moved from Boston to Silicon Valley to San Jose, I think was a bad thing. I think it was a bad thing for the Boston area because that acted as a way to celebrate the technical heritage of this area. And it's really hard to do that. We have the museum in Waltham that tries to celebrate some of the heritage of innovation in Massachusetts, but we're missing this era when the Boston area is very strong. And when you look at sort of lists of people that are important in the various areas, in Silicon Valley, you come up with people like Eric Schmidt, who's a technologist, Sergey Brin, Larry Page, Jerry Yang, and these are all technologists. They're not lawyers, they're not MBAs, they're not CEOs. Eric Schmidt is CEO. And when you try to come up with that list in the Boston area, who are some of the top technologists in the Boston area? It's a question for you to answer. Who?
Dash Dishman.
Okay. People know who he is? How many people know who he is?
Bill Warner.
How many people know who Bill Warner is? How many people outside of this room do you think know who Bill Warner is? So,
okay.
So do you notice what's happening? These are two people that you said are major technologists. Most people in this room don't know them. Tom Leighton. How many people know Tom Leighton? Okay, Tom Leighton is the founder of Agile. So the founder of the most successful internet era company in the Boston area is unknown to us. So we're not celebrating technology. Something else is going on. So we need to figure out how to do that.
Is what you're saying, like, in other words, we don't have a Steve Jobs here like they do out there, kind of?
I think Steve Jobs is kind of a special case. Steve Jobs is primarily a marketing person. Now, he does very good with technology. And it's not that I have anything against marketing people.
Yeah.
So I think Steve Jobs is kind of an exception. What we don't have is the next round of people. We have a Steve Lighton in this area, and people don't know who he is. And the other founder of Optimize, Tom Lighton's graduate student, is Dan Lewin. Dan Lewin died on one of the 9/11 aircraft. But people don't know who Dan Lewin is.
We have MIT. We have MIT, which is global.
We do.
organized.
Yep. Again, that's in the education sector. I was talking with a professor friend of mine at MIT, and I asked her where her graduate students were. She graduated 50 graduate students in the last several years. 4 are in New England. The rest are almost all in